Well, as you can see, the early weather is very much, or the early arrival of spring is very much discontinued, but I do have a couple of updates. So, update number one, have some sycamore seedlings. I think there's 8 in there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, there's 8. Interestingly, I've just been reading an article about the sycamore tree that was illegally hacked down, and how the seeds from that tree are in a secret location in Devon, but these are all doing okay. They're in a 50-50 mix of perlite and cocoa coir. Interestingly, it doesn't look 50-50, but it is. No, sorry, it's not 50-50. It looks 50-50. It's 80-20. 80% perlite, 20% cocoa coir. To the gram, and yet it looks significantly different to that. But yeah, they're coming along very nicely. Probably leave them in here for, I don't know, maybe a year. We'll see how they do through the summer. So, something I've not shown yet, a couple of willows. This willow I bought online and chopped it halfway. I have no idea what to do with it. I'll probably chop it right back further because it's got some lower branches. Interestingly, it did die back quite hard. So I think there's 3 branches. 1, 2, 3. So I'll probably chop it to where my finger is, roughly there. Let it die back and see what happens. What I've realised is these love to be in water, so that always has a bath that it's sat in. And then again, I've got these 2. These were actually acquired from a supermarket car park. They're cuttings off an enormous tree. They were placed in water on the windowsill, rooted really well, and they've been a hit and miss. So hit up, they've been a bit temperamental, like you can see here. I don't know if that's dead or if it's, yeah, they look dead, but I think that's partly due to me not having them in water for part of the heat last year. So this is the top area of the garden, and I think when the weather's a bit dry, I'm probably going to put together another bench, split bench along the top here. As you can see, you know, there's lots of space. So I've either got it there or where those plants are, but you can see this just gets really boggy, and it's not a great space. Plus, I don't know if it will show there, you can sort of see with the fence panelling, it's on a slope, whereas here is much flatter, and it gets much more sunlight. So the trees that need more sun, this would make the ideal spot. I'm just going to have a look at this one. I haven't shown this on camera before. That is a apple blossom, and I bought this and it was enormous and upright, about 5 feet in height. When I was looking at it, just about all I could see was to turn it into a bit of a cascade. So hopefully you can see with the grass in the background. It's not in a great position, obviously, it's sort of touching the floor, but I've got nowhere to put something like this yet, which is another reason for me to get a bench in position here in a few weeks. I never did get a video of these. There's a selection of pots there, about 30 different pots. I've just put them here out of the way. They were a bargain from Facebook Marketplace. I got the whole lot for £30, I think, which, you know, absolute steal. And there's some oh, the video I cut out, there's some fairly sizable ones, but I think if I do build another bench up the top of the garden. I'll try and incorporate some sort of storage because this was very, well, I was sort of following vague guides from what I could find online. I have done some repotting yesterday, nothing major. You can sort of see what I've repotted in these pond baskets. I didn't take any videos because it was bad weather and I was just in a rush. This, I did repot the prunus as well. It's not looking too great, is it? It's got a lot of wall wounds, and I don't think this is its finished form. I might cut it back even more, but it's got these beautiful little flowers just beginning to, well, they have fully appeared. Fantastic. And then I'll finish with these two, these Seca Hinoki. So there was a considerable size difference when I got the second, but this one is just, it's grown through the cold period. You can see, look, this branch here is shooting out. I don't know if these are joined underneath the soil here or if there's two separate trees. At some point I'm going to need to put this into proper soil. I may need to repot that one as well because these are both straight from the cellar in the soil that they're in. So at some point there's going to be repotting, and I'm quite nervous. As I've mentioned, I think in one of my other videos, this was a gift and has, because of that, a bit of emotion attached to it. This one not so much, but even so, I do not want any harm to happen to them. And that maple is now pretty much in full leaf. So in terms of what's left to be repotted, there's quite a bit. This mugo, this pine here, this big pine in the background, got a bodagia behind there. Anything that's really in a garden centre plant pot, I am at some point gonna have to repot, and I've got some quite big things left to do, as well as some cotoneasters that are still in their pots. A couple of azaleas here which are very leggy. I just left them out all winter. Survival of the fittest approach, and they've survived. I don't know if they've thrived. I've got a lavender here. Let me take that out because it's actually, I don't know if you can do bonsai with lavender, but it's got a lovely little trunk. You can see it's died off quite a bit, but there's some life growing clearly. So at some point getting that in a better set of soil will be nice. I think that's it. I'm going to call it a day because I'm getting absolutely soaked. Okay, back in the warm. Get my words out. Stone pines are doing well. You can see at the back another one has just appeared today. Bit of a late starter to the party, but they're all doing okay. Black pines seem to be doing okay, and then some Scotch laburnums have joined the fun too. These things are from the Grow Bonsai kit that I had, and there's a couple of green specks appeared. I only pulled these out of the fridge yesterday, so that's the only one that's shown any sign of life just